तेरी यादा, I like the way you move, oof. तेरा बदन, I like the way you move, oof. तेरी नजर, I think I wanna dance with you. Namaste guys, and welcome to another video of mine. I know I have not been posting for quite some time, but here I am, I'm back, and this is going to be a total sit-down video, so I will just talk a bit about myself, giving you more information about me as a person, because I felt that there were a lot of things which are unclear, or people come to my channel and of course they want to know who is this girl, what does she do, and why the heck is she so related and connected to India and not any other country, for instance. So I thought it really makes sense to just have a video that is just compact and that just integrates each and every information that I think could be interesting for someone who comes across my profile or my channel. Oof. I don't know what's happening to my English, but I hope you guys can somehow understand me. So first of all, I will give you some background information about myself. Who am I? What do I do? And secondly, why am I so connected to India? How did my journey start and where is it probably going to lead to? Okay, let's go! My name is Jennifer, I am 25 years old. I am currently based in Egypt, in Cairo, because I'm carrying out an internship in a German school. So yes, I am from Germany. And I am going to finish my master's degree, hopefully in the next 2 months. I'm gonna receive my grade. So I studied to be a teacher, a primary school teacher to be very precise. And yeah, I just submitted my thesis last semester. Yeah, and now this internship is the last part of my course, and then my student life is going to come to an end. Yes, so for all of you, I'm into teaching and I'm into education. So this is a bit about myself and my background. Now, where did my journey start? Literally from the scratch when it comes to India and everything that is evolving around this topic. So I think the very beginning was in my early childhood, because my mother or my father, I don't know, always made me listen to audiobooks. So I would listen to a story about a mother and a child, and they had like a globe, and then every time the child has to go to sleep, they will stop the finger on one particular country on the globe, and then they listen to a story of another child from that particular country. So there were stories from France, stories from Afghanistan, stories from Turkey, if I'm not wrong. So different countries from different continents. And I remember that I was very fascinated by these stories as a child, and I think this is how my interest in general for different cultures already started growing. After that, my mother had a close friend. I already made a video about this, actually my first YouTube video. Okay, however, so she used to watch Bollywood movies and she loved Bollywood movies. So she gave my mom sometimes some DVDs, they exchanged DVDs, old times where Netflix was not existing. Yeah, and she shared these Bollywood DVDs with us, and I watched a couple of movies. And what I remember is that literally from the first movie I watched, I was so fascinated by the actresses, by the colors, by the dresses, by the dances, by the way they were acting, by like being extremely expressive, being maybe even exaggerating with their expressions here and there, which I can identify myself with so much. So I think I saw a lot of things that a typical foreigner would see just on the surface. And that really attracted me a lot towards getting to know the culture more. After watching these DVDs in primary school, I was so much into wearing Indian clothes. So I asked my mother, can I have a sari? I never got one. I only got like a long scarf that I could wrap around myself, which was supposed to look like a sari. I always wished for bangles. And also my primary school teacher, I think she influenced me a lot, because she lived in India herself and she was teaching in India, and she also showed us how a sari looks like, how you drape it. It explained us a lot of things about the country, and I can remember as it was yesterday that we had one lesson in class where we were supposed to draw our favorite country or where we want to travel to and draw the flag of the country. and I remember that I drew the Indian flag. So from that day onwards, it was like, India is my favorite country and I want to go there. And that thought, like, it never changed. That was since that time in my like early childhood, it just never changed. Yeah, then afterwards, I think the next stage in my life was when I hit 15, because I got to know an Afghan family. I was very, very close to them, and their culture is very similar to the Indian culture, I would say. Of course, not in every aspect, but there are a few similarities that you could see if you know some parts of both of the cultures. And this family also spoke Hindi, many of them. They also loved watching movies. They also wore sometimes like Indian clothes, or also I remember that I received one lehenga choli from one girl of the family, and this really made me even more interested again in getting to know the culture. Yeah, when I was 15, I decided, okay, I want to join a dance group, because I always loved dancing. I was already a part of different dance groups when I was a child, like when I was younger. But when I was 15, I was like, no, I want to find a Bollywood dance group. So I looked for it on the internet and I found one called JenniJi. And also, if you're watching this right now, maybe, thank you guys so much for introducing me to the beauty of Indian culture and for sharing the same passion that I share today. And this dance group was not a professional dance group, but I would say that each and every dance step or each and every mudra that was being performed in a choreography, we knew the meaning of it. So it wasn't like a dance group that just like dance da 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 and that's Bollywood. No, like if you dance on a song, then you should know the lyrics, you should know the mudras, you should know the meaning, and you don't just wear a Punjabi suit on, I don't know, a Rajasthani song, for instance. And also this dance group introduced me much more to the culture. So I was able to join cultural events. I got to know a lot of Indians when I was around 15, 16 on Holi, Diwali, different occasions where, something was celebrated basically. And I just got to know much, much more, not just about dancing and Bollywood and dresses, yeah, that's nice, but more like into how are the people, how do the people live, what do the people eat, which languages do the people speak, so many, many more information. When I joined the dance group, through these events, as I already told you, I became a part of the Indian community. So I had a lot of Indian friends in my hometown and I loved to join them for just some cooking evenings, sitting together. Yeah, after that also, I remember in 10th grade, I wanted to write my term paper. Like after 10th grade, if you carry out your A-levels in Germany, you have to write a term paper about a topic. And I wanted to write about Indian culture. And then because I was so close in contact with this Afghan family, they told me like, hey, why don't you choose Afghan culture? Because Indian culture is so complex. It's like a continent kind of, you know, you have such a huge variety and it's going to be super different to focus on one tiny aspect. And I was like, okay, fine. So I wrote my thesis, or whatever you want to call it, my term paper about the Afghan culture eventually. But again, I think also learning more about the Afghan culture made me understand a lot of aspects in India also better later on. Okay, after that, so then when I was 19, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I fell in love with an Indian, which of course intensified this interest in the culture, but not only because of him. So there was always my general interest. It's just that, of course, if you have a partner, then you also want to know more, or you get to know many more things, even subconsciously. Yeah, well, but that ended after some time. Then I realized that I really want to travel to India still. Like I feel this need, this urge of like really seeing the country with my own eyes and understanding much more of the things that I cannot understand sitting in Germany and watching documentaries about India, for instance. But still, I always felt that I want to see the country. I want to understand the people. I want to understand the culture more. I want to see the country that I always envisioned in my dreams. And I also remember that my father told me, but you know that in India it's not like in the Bollywood movies and everything is nice and shiny and colorful. And I was like, of course, it's like nothing in reality is like it is in a movie. be it a Bollywood movie or a Hollywood movie. So yeah, but it really didn't stop me from this wish to go there. And as I told you, in the dance group, I got to know amazing people. So one of them, for instance, is Latoya, or is Latoya. She's German, and she shares the same passion for India that I do until today. By the way, you can check out her YouTube channel. They're very informative videos. I can highly recommend it. It's in German and it's got English subtitles, so feel free to follow her. Short advertisement. Yeah, so Latoya had a very strong connection to an Indian girl whom she was during this time introducing to German culture. Her name is Charu, and yeah, so I got to know Charu. And also I got to know another person, his name is Pavan, and also Pavan introduced me a lot to the Indian culture, and we are still friends until today. Actually with all three of them. Well, and then in 2017 is when Latoya and me finally decided, let's go to India. And Charu made it happen. She introduced us to her family, or she got us in contact with her family, and her family basically took care of everything, of the entire trip. They helped us so much in, I don't know, traveling from places, organizing things, trying different types of food, joining cultural events. So yeah, her family was really, really kind, and they made our first trip to India very special. And were super supportive, showed us around places, always amazing home-cooked food. They were just like our own parents, and they really gave us this feeling that we are home, we can come there every time, we are just like their children. And I think they really made this trip just so special that it was the first impression of the culture, and they made it super beautiful. So big thanks also at this point to Charu and your family, and yeah, everyone who offered us so much love and care, and yeah, also security, because they of course took care that nothing goes wrong and that we are safe, and they just wanted to make sure that we are enjoying this trip to the most, and that was the case.
Come here. You want to take some picture?
Jenny, was hast du?
Jenny?
Yeah.
Can you park the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is just a cow walking. She is just chilling on the streets.
Who?
Cow.
गाँव जा रही है ना वो.
Oh, that she doesn't pay taxes.
So,
No, I'll take with this side. You stand.
you
this
are
side.
on camera. You want to say something?
What?
Say something.
You're taking video?
Yeah.
See, Selfie is making her own movie. She's least bothered for others. This is a German Indianized girl.
Hello, this is Indian TV. We are right in front of the mall, and yeah.
I love me. Woo!
So
It's full mood.
okay, now what? That's a foot.
Photo in a
Huh?
photo.
Okay.
Papa just made a picture of us.
But if you want to see a detailed video on my different trips to India, then I can share the link of a video that I recorded like months ago in the description box. So if you are keen on knowing more, check this video out. Yeah, but coming back to the journey. In India, after the first trip, I was just so addicted that I traveled there again. And then after traveling there for the second time, and I already said that is in the other video already, but I was like, I really want to stay there for a year. I really want to live there. I cannot describe you the feeling, guys. Like, it's maybe you might think, oh my god, she's so exaggerating, like how can she be so much in love with the culture? But I cannot explain it. You just visit a country once and you feel like it's like your home. Like, I feel so homely when I get out of the airport in Bangalore or in Mumbai, and I feel like I'm getting tears in my eyes because I'm so nostalgic and I so miss India, and I haven't been there now for such a long time, but that's a different scenario. And I just feel so connected to the people, and when I speak the language, I feel it. I don't know, like for me it's... Yeah, I just feel so connected to the people, and I'm super comfortable wearing Indian clothes because I feel like I can be myself and no one is looking at me in a weird way, like in Europe, for instance, or even in Egypt. But over there, no one looks at you in a weird way. People really love it, and it just makes me super comfortable. Long story. So, yeah, I went there for 1 year, and now again telling you what did I do there. I was teaching in a school for a very long time. I already made a video about my teaching experience. You can check out these videos if you want as well. I worked with abandoned animals, so I worked in a shelter. I worked with dogs, monkeys, cats, horses. I mean, one horse. Different types of animals. Yeah, and I also worked with children with special needs. This was also quite a very interesting project and something that I will never forget, and I learned a lot from this project. And during my stay, I stayed with host families because the purpose of this volunteer service was to prepare you for living in another culture, to gain intercultural competence. So in this program, you learn about racism, you learn about stereotypes, you learn about how you as a white person influenced other people's countries, of course, in the past, and that you have a responsibility when you go there in the way you are behaving. Like, there were just so many seminars. We had seminars about pictures. We had seminars, what kind of pictures could we post? What kind of pictures might be critical? How do white people deal with their privilege that they have? It was always very important to say that we are not going to India to help someone, because we are not the white saviors who are like, oof, we are helping your school or something. No, it was always the key point was to go there to learn from the people and have an exchange between my culture and your culture, and we can learn from each other, we can grow together. That was the main aim of I would say, of this volunteer service, and to also understand developmental politics, if this is the right term, a bit more. Learning about the global south and the global north, and I could drag this now for super long, because we had very intense seminars for 2 weeks, sometimes until 10 in the night. And during this time, by the way, I was writing my bachelor thesis, so I was joining the seminars until 10, for instance, and in the night I was writing on my thesis until 3 a.m. and then I got up at 8 again in order to take part of the seminars, and they were compulsory. So without the seminars you cannot carry out this volunteer service. So I paid 3,000 euros in order to be a part of this volunteer service, in order to be able to carry out this volunteer service. You could either generate donations, right? Say, hey, I'm doing this volunteer service, do you want to support it or not? Go to companies, whatever, or you can work for it, or what was up to you. And I, during this time, had absolutely no time, or also maybe I felt ashamed to ask for donations, honestly speaking, so I was just working like an animal. I had so many part-time jobs all the time just to make sure I can get the money and I can go to India and I can do this. Well, I went there, stayed with different host families, stayed in very different places, made a lot, tons of experiences that I can just not put everything in one video. Also being in India, we also had several seminars, I think 3 seminars, sometimes for a couple of days. We also had like a welcome week where you learn about certain cultural traditions, maybe not even traditions, but things that you should just keep in mind. For instance, take off your shoes before entering someone's house. Things like basically no-goes and things you just shouldn't do, for instance, to be a bit more sensitive about certain cultural aspects. Yeah, and then I traveled to India again and again and again and again. And during this time I was also still always part of a dance group. I was always super interested in acting. I loved acting so much already as a child. I was very fascinated by acting, and over the years I grew this thought in my mind that I really want to become an actress, and I really want to combine that with the Indian culture, because that is what really makes me happy. And this is already where we're going towards my future goals, or what am I doing currently. So I started TikTok in 2020 when Corona started. Totally unexpected. Many people watch my videos. Many people, especially from Karnataka, enjoyed my videos. And I realized that this is something I honestly enjoy, because I love acting. I learned a bit of the language. I learned a bit of Kannada. I learned a bit of Hindi. I educated myself a lot about the culture. I keep on repeating myself, I know, but some things I just feel like I need to stress on certain points more, so people maybe understand myself better. Yeah, and then after making these videos, I realized that this is something I want to do. And then I started Instagram, and all of a sudden, from one day to the other, there were so many people following me, and I was totally over-challenged. Like, I'm just a student. My main job, whatever I'm doing right now, I am a student. I'm not an influencer or someone who's like a celebrity. No, I'm just a master's student still. And it was super difficult sometimes to combine something that I enjoy doing, but also which kind of became some sort of compulsory work, because you can't just disappear right from social media all of a sudden. People expect you to produce content. But at the same time, also focus on your private life, focus on your university, and it's a full-time job. That was super hard. Well, but after this time, I decided that this is what I really want to do. But social media is nowhere close to a job that I'm carrying out. My job is being a teacher. But again, I really, really enjoy acting, and it's something that I would like to do in my future. And I want to live in India in my future. And whenever, I know I'm super confused right now with my own thoughts. Guys, it's a very spontaneous video, so I'm maybe, you know, going from left to right and right to left. Maybe it's very difficult to follow me right now. And if you have watched until here, whoa, oh my God, you really have all my, I don't know, my respect. Yeah, like in my future, I would love to combine acting and teaching and living in India. And I have many, many visions for my future. I would love to support many more social projects. And also on this point mentioning, actually I didn't want to talk about what kind of social things I did in India, because I feel this is something that you don't speak up about. You just do it because you're doing it from your heart. You do it because you love doing it, not because to show like, oh see, I supported abandoned animals and I work with kids over there. No. So guys, sorry, my camera switched off, so I changed to the vlogging style, and as you can see, I changed the location, and yes, it's another day. Anyways, what I quickly wanted to say is that I didn't want to mention all of these things. Oh, I worked in the school, or I worked with abandoned animals, and so on. It's nothing that you should brag about, and it's not the point. But at some point, I felt that a lot of people, they jump to conclusions very quickly, like, oh, just another white savior, you know, or just another white girl with blonde hair who doesn't know anything about India, who just likes the Bollywood version of the country. Trust me, of course, I haven't lived there my entire life, so totally agreed. But there are many, many more stories that I would like to share with you, and I tried my best to not just see the Bollywood sides of India and educate myself a lot on certain topics, working on an intercultural competence certificate, visiting plenty of seminars, one after the other. Even at university, I continued that. I think at least 3 to 4 courses. Anyways, I hope you got a better picture of who I am, why I love the country so much, and I love to create content for you guys. I love to entertain you guys, and it's my passion to act, it's my passion to dance. I hope this video could give you a short overview of why I feel so connected to this country, or how my love started growing, or where does all of this crazy passion for India come from, you know? Also, I want to let you know that these maybe 24 minutes you have watched right now, they will not be able to give you each and every detail about the years of experiences I made or memories I have collected, and so on and so on and so on. But I just tried to summarize a couple of things for you guys. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Dhanyavad, Shukriya, and bye bye. See you in my next video.